Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing really well tonight. I am Pierrette Rouleau, and I'm the owner and broker in charge of my company, Rouleau Real Estate Group. And I have been out and about the last couple of weeks helping two buyers get to closing and looking for a lot of property for different people. I've been really enjoying it. And so I really wanted to connect and do a quick stats update for you guys. And I thought that I would go rogue and do it right with you. How about that? So here is what we are going to do. I am going to share my MLS screen with you, okay? And so let me show you where I am. So first of all, I'm in the Asheville, North Carolina market, and we serve Western North Carolina. Our metro area is 5 counties. But we really are connected to about 9 counties. What I like to do when I do any kind of search is to choose a radius of about 25 miles around the city of Asheville. Although things are changing so remarkably between the larger towns of Hendersonville and Brevard, Waynesville, Black Mountain, Weaverville, Mars Hill, Burnsville, Marshall, these delightful small towns. I know I've missed one or two, Flat Rock. So I thought that I would pull some statistics for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do single family, and we're going to do a 25 mile radius around Asheville. And let me just show you that. All right. So it's going to take us, and this is, I would say this is at the current time within people's sweet spot in terms of where, since I've worked in the Asheville market, where people want to be. Now, of course, people move out, people, like to be farther out, but if Asheville is their frame of reference and their center of focus, they usually stay within 25 to 30 minutes in this range. There's a whole other group of people, and I can't wait to explore more. Far western North Carolina, that's in a different MLS, Highlands, Cashers, Franklin, Cullowhee, Bryson City, Cherokee, people come up from Georgia. So just wanted to orient you in terms of where you are and what I'm taking a look at, all right? And so we're going to do this quickly, but I think it's instructive because I have people coming tomorrow, for instance, and I think it's really, it's one of my gifts and talents for sure. Is to crunch statistics and think about the implications of it. So let's do the first thing. I want to do the past 10 years, okay? Because we know what happened in 05 to 07 and then 08, 09, 010, right? And so I think seeing a 10-year trajectory is a very useful thing. So the first thing I want to do is I just want to show you the number of active listings. And this is very telling of a market, right? Supply, how much supply there is. And so this is a chart, but let me pull up the data. So what you want to see is, so this is the number of active listings in a 25-mile radius of Asheville, North Carolina. We cover Buncombe, Madison, Transylvania, Polk, Henderson, and then we branch out into Haywood, Madison, Yancey, McDowell. I said Transylvania, Haywood, Henderson. So this is where we are now. This is 2021, and these are April stats. So what you want to see is there are 2,135 active listings, single family, in a 25-mile radius. All right, and that was true in 2020. It was 2,768 active new listings. And what you want to see is in 17, 18, 19, we had 3390, 3230, 34, 3500. And then notice how different, notice how little we have in active listings. So if we did the math on that, so just since 2017, that is 37% less listings. Have I done that correctly? Yeah. 37% less listings than we need right now. right? Because when you look at April, it tends to be, now this is 11, 12, 13, 14. This is when we had more houses than buyers. So I think this is a telling number, but honestly, I think in my last longer video, I talked about kind of busting out of our assumptions. And the assumption I would have made is that when we see ourselves getting over 4,000 again in active listings on the market, we can say we're in a buyer's market. But I don't think that comparison holds true, because we have so many more buyers and population growth. But what's important is for us to see how few active listings there are on the market, and how few active listings there are just between last year and this year. Now they're holding steady this year, but look how far off they are. They're right at 2,000, where last year we were moving into the pandemic. But notice this, even in January of 2020, we only had 2,700 new listings on the market, active listings at that time. And so this is a number that was we were starting to have more demand than supply, even in 2020. We were starting to feel the pressure of that. So notice that active listings are way down, all right? So the next statistic we want to see is the closed average price. I know some people like median. I just am used to average. So closed average price over the last 10 years. So we're going to look at April. So notice this number. In April 2021, this year, it's 456,389. And that is in a 25-mile radius. That average price per house would be higher if I did just the city of Asheville. Okay, so remember that we're talking about a 25-mile radius, single family homes. So to go back 10 years to 2011, the average closed price per house was $227,745. So that is actually 100% increase. All right. So that's remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Let me do right. It's almost exactly 100% evaluation. Right. So that's remarkable. So let's look at the number of closed. Just the number. So take a look at this. So remember that our active listings was down into like the 2100s, and how far off that is, probably off by at least 1,500 to 1,700 active listings that we ought to have right now for a more healthy seller's market, for a more balanced but still seller's market. So notice the number of closed listings. So even though active listings are so short, the number of closed listings is dramatically high. It's dramatically high over last year in April, and it's dramatically high over the last 3 Aprils. It's not dramatically high over March of this year, but notice where these numbers are. March and April have been excessive, and we've had few new listings, right? So our active listings are far down. All right, so let's take a look. That was the number of closed. Let's take a look at the months of inventory. And I would say that when I crunch numbers in a particular like price range or type of home or certain area of home, of course, I'm tending to look where people are looking, right, in more interested areas. And the months of inventory is really more like a month and a half. So this 3 month, and just notice in 2020, it was at 6 months, kind of settled out in there in April. And this is month by month, so this is a very tight number. And just so you know, right, let's see, we'll do one more thing, number of new listings. So the first number we had was the number of active listings, and this is the number of new listings. Okay, this is very important for sellers. It's also important for buyers to know. This is still an excessive seller's market. It's a very heightened market right now. You can see that so far in the numbers. Just, you know, in the doubling of the average price per house. I will go back to that stat and show just what's been happening in the last couple of years. But what you want to see is the number of new listings has really accelerated this month in April. We noticed, so They've been increasing every single month. And notice how many more new listings there are. This is very good news. It's actually very good news for buyers and sellers, because sellers are, even though you might, well, not even though, having that multiple offer, 12 offer situation is both, a great boon, but it's also extremely challenging, right? And so having a market where people can engage in negotiation and is a kinder market. So that's very telling that we have this many new listings coming on the market compared to 541, 960. Look at that. So in 2020, of course, that number is the April pandemic number, right? So usually we're in the 800, 900 in April. So we are on track this year. We're back on track. That's very good. It's very good to see. And what that means is that people have had both their shots. They can see that buyers are starting to travel. I've already done as much business this year as I did all year last year. That's very good for everyone. So let's take a look at, I want to take a look at one comparison for you, and that is closed days on market against the closed average price. Okay, here we go. I liked the different chart, but what you see is, let's see. Oh, I see. Hold on. Days on market. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. So what you want to see, as the chart is messing with me, is that in April of 2021, we have 51 days on market. And that's generally as low as you can go in days on market. Even with a cash transaction, you can't, you can go shorter than that. But in general, this is the short on average. This is the shortest amount of time that can exist in the sale of a home. Notice 456, 389 is the average closed price, and 461 in March, 411, 415, 442 in December, 442 in December of 2020, right? And so the average price per house actually went down a little bit in January, February, because people weren't buying and there really was no inventory at all. And notice how it's climbed right back up and pushed beyond December 2020, 407, 417, 442, 410, 374, 364, right? And so this is a remarkable trend that you can see. And if we take it back to January of 2011, the average price per house was 215, and it is now 456. And so that is more than 100%. Right. So listen, I hope that that's been extremely helpful to you. I do feel that it is a remarkable time in the real estate market. We need to, when we are assisting buyers and when we are assisting sellers, we need to think about the future price of that home as it is being marketed and sold. The market is still moving forward. What we have is an up. What we are seeing is, as the days on market go down, the average price goes up. Those numbers are getting crunched, and that's an interesting statistic for sellers as well. If you come out at a good price, you come out at the right price for this market, whatever that might be, right? Your days on market are going to be short. But if you aren't priced well, even in this market, your days on market will get longer. So look, I hope this has been really helpful to you. It's been a little while since I've done it, and it is a remarkable time. I have several listings coming on the market in the next couple of months in all four corners of the Western North Carolina, and I'm really looking forward to that. And working with new clients tomorrow, and And I thank you so much for listening, and I hope it's been useful and good for you. I'm Purette Rouleau, and I'm the owner and broker in charge of my company, Rouleau Real Estate Group. And it is Tuesday evening, May 11th. I think it's a new moon. And I hope you're doing really well this evening. Thank you. Bye now.